By so how will you come to school? By bus. So then, yes, by bus you'll come. So you'll come to school by bus. Vehicles. Yes, very good. In the same way, I'm asking, in the same way, you'll come to travel from one place to another, to travel from one place to another. Travel from one place to another, we'll switch on. We'll switch on or we'll move towards the, we'll switch on or we'll move towards the important mode, important, or we can say that the one of the needs of the human life, one of the needs of the human life is been called as the transport. One of the needs of the human life. Transport. What is that? Transport. So transport is one of the important mean in our daily life. Transport is one of the important mean in our daily life. So our parents, they move from one place to another for the purpose of earning the bread or the for the job to the job purpose to work in the other places. So which is the bus, which is the mode they take, that is being called as the transport. So by walk we can't move. By walk we can't move. By walk. So in the early morning and in the evening, walking only for that purpose. It is only for the to stay healthy. We can have a walking, but for the other purpose, to earn our bread, to earn our livelihood, we have to move from one place to another. So for example, now myself, I have came from my house to school, 3 to 4 kilometers. I have taken my vehicle. I have been. So that is a mode of transport I have been used. So I have been used the bike. Some use the other mode of transport. Some use the other mode of transport. Some use the other mode of transport. And a transport. A transport. What do you mean by transport? What do you mean by transport? In our earlier classes, you have been learned, somewhat you have been learned. You need to learn, but somewhat you know regarding the transport. What do you mean by transport? So transport refers to a system of carrying person and goods from one place to another. So what is transport? Question may come. Transport refers to the system of carrying person and goods from one place to another. One place to another. So it is a lifeline in the progress of agriculture, industry, commerce. It is a lifeline in the progress of agriculture, industry, commerce. In one word, we have to say, in the one word, we have to say, it is a lifeline in the process of economic development. It is a process of economic. Why it is called as the lifeline? Why it is been called as the lifeline? So I'll just ask one question. So it will be clear. In your body, what work does the nerve system do? Nerves. In your body, nerves are there. What work does the nerve system do? What is the works of the nerves in your body? What is the work of the nerves in your body? That's a general question. You have been learned in the science. What is the work? What is the work of the nerve system in your body? What is the work of the nerve system in your body? So question is being clear. What is the works? What is the work of the nerve system? Nerves. So in your body, nerves are there now? Nerves. What is the work of the nerves in your body? So I need an answer. If I get an answer, I'll move on. Nerves are there. Yes, Vaishnavi. They carry blood to the whole body. Yes, very good. They carry blood to the whole body. Then it helps to carry the message. Then what type of message? I don't know. Transformation, transporting the blood from one part to another. So it's a question in clear. So why the transport is been called as the lifeline of the economic system or the economic development? What work does the nerve system do in your body? Same work does the same work has been done by the transport in the economic development. In the economic development. So it carries goods and person from one place to another. It carries good. How the nerve system, how in your body, in our body, the nerve system is important. It circulates the blood to the whole, it circulates the blood to the whole body. In the same way, transport circulates the goods from goods for the whole nation, for the whole state, from one place to another. From one place to another. So transport in the economic system, transport has been compared to the nerve system. In the economics, transport has been compared to the nerve system because goods are being carried on to the whole country from one place to another. So transport has been compared. Transport is compared to the nerve system. Transport is compared to the nerve system in the economic development. So today, so Karnataka is a land with the varied natural resource, mineral resource, commerce, crops, forest products, source of energy are available. In order to achieve economic development, in order to achieve economic development, in order to achieve economic development, in order to achieve economic development. So here, so in order to achieve economic development through economic development, proper use of this mineral resource is necessary. So we are having the wide variety of natural resources, mineral resources. So other resources, crops, etc., etc. So for the efficient use of these resources, a good transport system is needed. A good transport system is needed. Different means of transport facilities are necessary for the transport of food grains. So here, different mode of transport is needed. Different mode of transport is needed because Karnataka, in the physical features of Karnataka, you have mountains are there, hilly regions are there, coastal regions are there, Malnad region is there, then Maidan region is there, So here, for the agriculture product to move from one place to another, minerals which is being extracted in one area. So in all the areas, in all the places, or in all the areas, minerals are not there. Only some areas are there, which is an extra that has to transport it towards the another area. So such thing. All the food grains, they have been not good in one area. So in the different, according to the physical features, according to the soil, according to the natural vegetation, according to the rain, according to the rainfall, the food grains are being grown. So that food grain has to be circulated towards the whole Karnataka. For that purpose, a good transport system is needed. So, quite naturally, in Karnataka, we depend upon the four type of mode of transport. The important mode. The important mode of transport. First comes the rail, air, water. So these are the four important mode of transport. So which are the four important mode of transport? Road, rail, and water. So in this, which is the important mode of transport? In this four transport, which is the important mode of transport? In this four transport, which is the important mode of transport? In this four transport, which is the important mode of transport? So road transport is the important mode of transport. Which transport? Road transport. So road transport is important. Why road transport is important? Why road transport is important? So I'll make it clear now. Road transport, rail transport, air transport, water transport. Road transport is the important mode of transport. Even the rich and the poor can afford to this transport. Which transport? Road transport. So door-to-door facility is being given only in the road transport. Door-to-door facility is being given only in the road transport. So other mode of transport, you have to go to that particular transport. Railway, it will not come to your house. You have to go to the railway station itself. Airway, it will not come to your house. You have to go to the airport itself. Water transport, you have to go to the where the water transport facility is there you have to go. There you have to go. Water transport. So road transport. So only in the road transport and one of the cheapest mode of transport is the road transport. From the poor to rich, they can afford to this transport, road transport. They can afford to road transport. Door-to-door facility is being given only in the road transport. So from your house itself, you can go towards the road transport. So the importance of road transport, Just listen to me. A large number of people live in the rural areas in Karnataka. So road transport occupies a very important place in the transport system of Karnataka. So you are linking the villages to the mainstream, linking the villages to the highway, village road to the highway, main. So here the importance of road transport, First, we can say that door-to-door facility is being given only in the road transport. In the importance of that point, you can write next. Road can be constructed easily at low cost. People and goods can be transported to every corner of the state. Development of road determines the progress of the state agriculture, industry, mining and commerce. So these are the importance of road transport. Right on. Question, it's the homework. What are the importance of road transport in Karnataka? What are the importance of road transport? It's the homework. What are the importance of road transport? So next, development of road transport. Just listen to me. Development of road transport. So road has been used from the ancient time. Road has been used. That was the only mode of transport from the ancient. But in Karnataka, some kings, they have been developed the roads. While studying about the dynasties, we have been studying. And kings, emperor having constructed roads for the movement of the goods from one place to another, for the movement of the soldiers, and for the administrative purpose. So there were the travel shelters. So today we are having the IB, inspection bungalow, travelers bungalow, hotels, how we are in the same way. So in the olden days, travel shelters were the place to rest. Water facility, drinking water facility was available. Resting, shelters, orchards, chow trees. Roads to connect the coastal region to the inland area has been constructed. Roads to connect the coastal region, because some kings, they have the trade contact with the other nations in those days itself. So from the coastal to the inland or coastal to the mainstream, the road have been constructed in the ancient itself. So however, roads were not much developed in the pre-independence. In the pre-independence in Karnataka. There were roads linking to Bangalore and the district centers of the old provinces, old Mysore provinces in the pre-independence. From Bangalore to some district centers, the old Mysore region. But they were not well organized. Or well equipped roads. After independence, when Vishala Mysore State was formed in 1961. Totally 43,182 kilometers of roads were laid. So after independence, when the Vishala Mysore State was being formed in the 1961, 43,182 kilometer roads were built. At present, the length of the roads in Karnataka is 2,31,062 kilometers. Has been increased. It has been increased. On which 35.70% are metalled. Metalled ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಾಂಬರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. 35.70% are metalled roads, whereas the 64.30% are unmetalled roads. Unmetalled roads. ಕಚ್ಚಾ ರಸ್ತೆ, ಮಣ್ಣುದಾರ. There has been improvement in the quality of roads construction too. There has been improvement in the quality of roads construction too. So this is the development of roads in Karnataka. So next we'll move towards the kinds of road. Next we'll move towards the kinds of road. Kinds of road. So even this question may come. It's a homework. Name the kinds of roads in Karnataka. National highways, state highways, district roads, village roads, district road. So these are the kinds of roads in Karnataka. So national highway, state highway, district roads, village roads. So there are 4 types of roads. So first we'll study the national highway. National highway. Roads which link the important cities, capitals of state and ports are called as national highway. The roads which link the important places, capitals, tourist places, airport, ports. So such roads have been called as the national highways. These are well-planned roads. These are well-planned, wide roads. And highways are of 2-line, 4-line, and 6-line. Highways are of 2-line, 4-line, and 6-line. So afterwards I will show the images. Highways are of 2-line, 4-line, and 6-line. They are under the authority of the central government. So these national highway, they are under the authority of the central government and are managed by the National Highway Authority of India, NHAI. They have been managed by the National Highway Authority of India. All these national highway, they come under the central government. They are managed by the National Highway Authority of India. At present, there are 14 national highways in Karnataka. At present, there are 14 national highways which passes through Karnataka. 14 national highways passes through Karnataka. Their total length, the total length of national highway passes through Karnataka is 4,491 kilometers. How many kilometers? 4,491 kilometers of national highway passes through Karnataka. 4,491 kilometers. So they have not been located equally among the districts. So national highways, they have been not equally distributed among all the districts of Karnataka. So Uttar Kannada, Vijaypura, Belagavi, Shimoga, Bangalore, rural, Tumkur, Dakshin Kannada, and Ballari district have the national highways. Ballari district have the more national highways. Raichur and Kodagu district have no national highways. Raichur and Kodagu district, they are not have national highways. So this is regarding it. So national highway NH4 and NH7 come under the National Highway Authority. NH4 and NH7. Golden Quadrilateral Highway Project as well as the Corridor Project. Golden Quadrilateral Highway Project. Why it is being called as the Golden Quadrilateral Highway Project and as the Corridor Project? Because that links from Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. So Golden Quadrilateral Project. So National Highway NH4 and NH7 come under the National Highway Authorities Golden Quadrilateral highway project as well as the corridor. It is also called as the corridor project. Corridor project means linking the main 4 major cities of India. Linking the 4 major cities and equally 4 major cities as well as the Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata and Delhi. So it is so golden quadrilateral project. It is called as the golden quadrilateral project. And they have 6 lines. So this golden quadrilateral, they have 6 lines. So the other main highway passing through the state are NH 206, NH 209, NH 212, NH 13, NH 17, NH 48. NH 48. So next, state highway. Next, the state highway. The roads which link the capital city, Bangalore, as well as the district centers and the major towns and the cities and the tourist places. So such roads are been called as the state highway. Such roads are been called as the state highway. The construction and the maintenance of these roads are been done by the state government itself. The construction and the maintenance of these roads are been done by the state government itself. Karnataka has 20,905 kilometers of state highway. Karnataka has 20,905 kilometers of state highway. Belagavi has the longest state highway, whereas the Bangalore has the least state highway. Belagavi district has the longest state highway, whereas the Bangalore has the least state highway. District road. Next one, the district road. Roads which link the district headquarters with the taluk headquarters from Karwar to Sirsi, Karwar to Mundugod. So that is so such type of roads are being called as the district roads. So major towns, villages, railways, railway station, major ports, and connects the highways. Such roads are being called as the district roads. Construction and maintenance of these roads are been done by the JP, Jilla Panchayat. By the Jilla Panchayat or Jilla Panchayat. So Karnataka has 47,836 kilometers of district highways. Tumkur district has the maximum district highways. Tumkur district has the maximum district highways, and the Raichur district has the least district highways. Next comes the village road. Village road. Roads, village road. Village roads which link taluk headquarters with the village and the district headquarters are called as the village roads. Construction and the maintenance of these roads are being done by the taluk panchayat and the village panchayat. The construction and the maintenance of these roads are being done by the taluk panchayat and village panchayat. The quality of roads, the quality of these roads are not good in some parts. It is very difficult to travel on these roads. Karnataka has 1,47,200. So 1,47,212 kilometers of village roads. So these are the types of roads. Addition to this, some roads they have been used for addition to the types of roads mentioned above. They have been multi-purpose roads and roads under the local administration. Roads under local. So even municipality construct the roads. When the municipality, corporation, which is in the metropolitan corporation, they construct the roads. Even the roads of public work department, forest department, irrigation department, town municipality, city corporation, they construct the roads. So roads which are being nearby, especially in those who are living in Sirsi, roads which are being in the front of your house, what the roads are there, they are being constructed by the city municipality. And then the villages, it will be constructed by the village panchayat. So these are the types of roads in Karnataka. So I mean, two homework I have given. What are the importance of road transport? And name the kinds of roads in Karnataka. So next we'll move towards the rail transport. Another important mode of transport. So in Karnataka, railway is the second important mode of transport next to the road transport. It helps in the economical travel to the distant places and the transportation of goods. So for the distance, for example, from 60 to Bangalore, if you are traveling by bus, you have to pay 600 rupees. According to the buses, according to the buses. If the same travel, if you travel by the train, you see there is train is not there. If you go from Haveri, so in the 100 rupees, you'll reach to, in 100 rupees, you'll reach to Bangalore. You'll reach Bangalore. From the same Haveri, if you travel by bus, you have to give 500 rupees. But by the 300 to 500 rupees you have to. But by the, if you, same distance, if you travel by the train, you have to travel by the, you can travel only in 100 rupees. So, one of the cheapest mode of transport. But from there, for the distant, not for the short distance, not for the short distance, for the distant places, it is the cheapest mode of transport. And carrying the goods from one place to another, it is the very cheapest mode from the carrying the goods from one place to another. It is the cheapest mode of transport. Somebody has been unmuted your account. So please mute itself. So next, so here the first railway line was started or it was been opened for traffic in Karnataka was in the 1864. In 1864, the first railway line was been led, or the first railway route was been opened in the 1864. This was led between Bangalore and Madras. This was led between Bangalore and Madras. This was led between Bangalore and Madras. Bangalore and Madras. So it was led by the Madras Railway Company. It was led by the Madras Railway Company. By the year 1956, the state had totally 2,595 kilometers of railway track belonging to the Southern Railway Zone. Belonging to the Southern Railway Zone. So in the 1956, total how many? 2,595 kilometers of railway tracks were laid in Karnataka. So that belongs to the Southern Railway Zone. But that has been changed now. Now it has been known as the Southern Railway Zone. It has been given a new name now. Southwestern Railway Zone. Southwestern Railway Zone. Now it has been renamed as the Southwestern Railway Zone, and the headquarters is Hubli. Headquarters is Hubli. Headquarters is Hubli. So now, headquarters is Hubli. Administrative center is Hubli. Today, Karnataka has 3,244 kilometers of railway line in Karnataka. Today, Karnataka has 3,244 kilometers of railway line in Karnataka. Earlier in the 1956, how many kilometers were there? 2,595 kilometers were there. But now, how many is there? Now, how many kilometers is there? 3,244 kilometers of railway tracks are there. In Karnataka, there is no uniform distribution of railway tracks. So, in Karnataka, there is no uniform distribution of railway track. So, some districts are having large number of large kilometers of railway tracks. Some district there is no railway track itself. Some district there is no railway tracks itself. So in some district 150 to 200 kilometers are there, long railway track. In some district there is no railway track, especially in the district like Kodagu. There is no railway track itself. So the reason you are knowing why there is the reason you are knowing. ಯಾರಲ್ಲೇ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ವಾ? ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲೇ, ನೀವು ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಚಂದ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ವಾ? So Konkan Railway, next we'll move towards the Konkan Railway, one of the important railway. One of the important railway, Konkan. Konkan Railway. So this is the most important railway route of West Coast. It links Mangalore and Mumbai. It links Mangalore and Mumbai. It has reduced the time of traveling 41 hours to 18 hours. So earlier, before the construction of the railway track, before the construction of the railway tracks, before the construction of the railway track, before the construction of railway track, the journey from Mangalore to Mumbai was 41 hours. How many hours? 41 hours. But after the construction of the Konkan Railway, that journey has been reduced to 18 hours. That railway reduced to 18 hours. So its length is 273 kilometers. And in Karnataka, the Konkan Railway length is 273 kilometers. And 13 main and 310 other bridges are there. In this Sharavati bridge of 2.2 kilometers, while traveling to in Hana we will get, and the longest bridge. And next the Kali River bridge, while traveling to Goa we will get near Karwar, 1.2 kilometers are the important bridges. Since the railway passes through the many tunnels across the bridges, we can enjoy the natural beauty. We can enjoy the natural beauty and scenery. Natural beauty and scenery. So now another important landmark in the history of Karnataka is the metro rail. Metro rail, another important. So Bangalore has been grown tremendously as a metropolitan city. Transportation, as a transportation has become a major problem. I think you are knowing. I think traffic jam is one of the major problem in the Bangalore. To solve that problem and to reduce the burden on the traffic, on the road traffic, to overcome the problem, Namma Metro Rail Transport was planned and was implemented on 2nd October 2011. 2nd October 2011, it was been implemented. The first metro rail between Bhairapnalli and MG Road was started. Lakhs of people utilize this facility. It takes much less time to travel from one place to another. And the metro rail track are from the different stages are on the construction. So this is regarding the road transport and the railway transport. This is regarding the road transport and the railway transport. So I will I'll end the meeting now, and within 2 minutes you have to join the meeting with the same link. Within 2 minutes you have to join the meeting with the same link. So now I'll end it. Within 2 minutes you have to join the meeting with the same link. Join fast.